We're just gonna cut to the chase here. If you pay attention to MMOs at all, you've probably heard of Crowfall. If not, then here's the lowdown. It is a PvP-focused, player-driven economy indie MMO currently in development. You also probably know that the hype for this game is akin to whatever the next Marvel movie is to come out depending on when you're watching this video. At least in the MMOsphere. And after talking to the developers last week, I'm sad to say that I too have completely fallen into the hype, because this game and the people making it have a lot of great ideas, which can pretty much be summed up with this. Crowfall is melding a lot of ideas from old MMOs, strategy games, and new ideas to try and create something new and fresh. Now, what you're seeing here is pre-alpha footage, and I don't have a lot of it, so if I just loop the 4 minutes I have over and over, well, I think we'll all survive. Remember, this game is still very much in development, and there are so many things that the devs and I discussed that I honestly can't fit it all in one video, but I'm gonna damn well try. Let's start off with characters. Crowfall is planning on several different archetypes, which fall into 4 categories: tank, DPS, specialist, and support. Archetypes are essentially classes. What you're seeing here is the Knight archetype. You've also seen the Templar in some screenshots, and this is the Forge Master. There are quite a few archetypes that have been dropped on the website that are not in this video. However, I did get to see quite a few of them in action, and I must say they look fantastic. There are also a lot of archetypes that have yet to be announced. Archetypes also have different races attached to them, such as the Forge Master being a dwarf, the Legionnaire being a centaur, the Duelist being a gerbil, and the Stalker being a deer? Well, variety is the spice of life. There will also be a lot of customization in the game that will really let you create the character you want to play. And guess what? You could easily mess up your character by choosing the wrong stats and skills for what you'd eventually like them to be. And that's a good thing. I am tired of hand-holding. Let me mess up, please. Character progression is also going to be skill-based. Skills will raise actively by using them up to a point, and then they will also raise passively, kind of like skills in EVE. You will choose one skill which will then raise on its own while you're playing the game and logged off. Progression will also have a smaller power curve, which means new players will stand a chance when fighting against more experienced players. But how can that be? Well, that brings me to combat. Combat is still very early in development and will likely change from what I played, but right now it definitely has a Terra/Guild Wars 2 feel to it. This type of combat makes fighting a bit more skill-based, rather than being solely based on numbers. Attacks have an arc, which will allow you to hit multiple enemies at the same time. And spinny attacks. There's also collision detection that allows you to push back enemies, so pushing people off of cliffs is not only perfectly valid, but encouraged. One of the other aspects of Crowfall is the world. You will have your own eternal kingdom, which acts as your own little world to build up, maintain, set up shop, change rule sets, etc. You can also open up your kingdom to allow other people to come visit. This world will be persistent and will always last, but to build up your kingdom, you're going to need materials. That is when you'll need to join a campaign. Or you can simply have someone else go and do the campaign for you in case you don't feel like joining in. You'll just probably owe them something in return. Kinda like the Mafia. Campaigns are their own separate worlds. A lot of people may view this as Crowfall being an instanced game, and that's not the case, because campaigns are essentially the size of an MMO continent. However, they are not permanent. There are several different campaigns running at the same time, and depending on the rule set, they may only last a month, 3 months, 6 months, but they will never last forever. When you join a campaign, you will pick a faction, guild, or side to align yourself with, and you will fight the opposing side to control the land and points of interest on the map, like lumber mills, mines, and quarries. Dying in the campaign will cause you to lose some of your inventory and equipment depending on the rule set, but the goal of the developer of Crowfall is to make death a bit more like dying in Minecraft. Yeah, it hurts that you lose a lot of stuff, but it's not that hard to get back. During the length of the campaign, the world will go through seasons, like spring, summer, fall, and winter, where things like food and resources become more scarce, making the whole game harder. Oh, I said food, didn't I? Yes, there is a hunger system in this game that will require your character to consume some food or energy so that your character doesn't suffer from adverse effects. When the campaign ends, your character and their progress will persist, but the world itself will reset and procedurally generate, so the next time you go in, it will not be the same. This reset also ensures that no one group will ever completely dominate and have too much power for an extended period of time. And with the world being temporary, Crowfall decided to implement destruction. Crowfall will be using voxels, so that you can use templates to build castles, towns, moats, etc. But when your enemy decides to build up a castle, you can actually blow a hole in their wall or just tunnel underneath. But let's face it, you're gonna blow it up. The last thing that I'll discuss is crafting. The majority of items in the game will be crafted, making the crafting professions extremely important. It will actually also be viable to be solely a crafter and to never go out on campaigns or fight at all, instead offering to supply those who do go out and fight with weapons and armor in exchange for supplies. Of course, it will also be beneficial to take crafters with your team into campaigns so that they can supply you while on the battlefield. Items will also break. No matter how hard you try, eventually an item will break. All of this combined really should help bring back the Star Wars Galaxy-esque player-run economy that really hasn't been present in today's MMOs. Another thing to mention is that the game will be buy to play, just a one-time purchase and you never have to pay again. And I think that's all I've got for now. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I've probably missed, but I seriously cannot fit everything that was discussed in this video while keeping it at a reasonable length. You can always find out more about Crowfall on MMORPG.com and on the Crowfall website. And the game has now also debuted their Kickstarter. I strongly suggest you all go out and support this game, because if you're tired of the same old in MMOs, then we need a game to take some risks on doing something different. And Crowfall is that game. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to visit MMORPG.com for all of your MMO related news. And if you like this video, make sure to visit my YouTube channel for more silly videos.